Last time we talked, we went over shoulder stability. Today we're going to be going over something that we want even more than handstand push-ups, abs, or to be more specific, midline stability, which is super important, and we're going to be going upside down on that wall and knocking out those handstand push-ups. Why? Because the last thing you want is to be broken at the hips when you're upside down. It just won't be efficient with your handstand push-ups. Now, not only are we going to benefit on the handstand, it's also going to help us everywhere else, because when we have weak hip flexors and weak abs, it could cause pain in the shoulders, back, and hips. Because if these muscles are weak, those muscles have to compensate when we do certain movements like a back squat. So having a strong abs and strong hip flexors will keep us pain-free and reduce our risk of injury. Now, the movements that we're going to be going over are specific to gymnastics. There are many different movements. We have the sit-ups, crunches, Russian twists, a bunch of different movements. The ones we're going to cover are specific to gymnastics. The way we're going to go over it, we're going to go from beginner movements to more advanced movements. The next movement that's going to get your abs rock hard is the hanging leg raise. Great for abs, hip flexors, and grip strength. You're going to come up to the pull-up bar. Your hands are outside your shoulders. Your thumb is around the bar for safety. When you're hanging, your shoulder blades are down and back. Here, with control, I'm going to lift my legs hip height. Legs are together, my toes are pointed, and down with control. Avoid swinging, so there is no kick. Completely straight. You could do 2 legs at a time, or you could have fun with it and you could do 1 leg at a time. You could alternate as well. Control your swinging. You could have a lot of fun with this. You could get creative with it. You could do it as extra credit. If I do 2 legs at a time, I would do maybe 3 rounds of 10 reps with a minute break in between. If I'm alternating, I'll do 20, 10 and 10 on each leg, 3 rounds with a minute break in between. Okay guys, so the next movement and more advanced movement that we're going to be going over is the hanging tugged front lever on the rings. For the hanging tugged front lever on the rings, you want to make sure that your hands are chalked up, good strong grip on those rings, shoulder blades down and back. Knees and feet are together, your toes are pointed. You're going to bring your knees in, keeping a hollow body. From here, I'm going to push down on those rings and bring my body to a vertical position. You want to have your hips stacked over your shoulders. Back down with control and pull down on those rings. And those are the front lever raises. Once you can play around with those a little bit, I would recommend just practicing. I wouldn't give myself prescribed reps or sets. I would just give myself 5 to 10 minutes just to play around with it, try to master the movement. You could also practice holding it. You would lift yourself up to that vertical position, hips stacked over your shoulders, and from here, with control, you're gonna push down. Once you're horizontal with the ground, you would hold. So I'm actively pushing down on those rings, and I'm keeping my feet, my knees together, and that hollow body position. And down with control. So that is the tug front lever raises and hold. Again, I wouldn't give myself a prescribed set of reps. I would just give myself 5 to 10 minutes, just play around with it. Just finished working out and coaching in class, that's why I'm dressed differently. But the next movement we're gonna go over is a modification of an L-sit. It's a great exercise to build that strength and that body awareness that you need for gymnastics and handstand push-ups. You can do this on a chair, on a box, or in a tire. Basically anything that you can sit on and put your hands on. For the movement, your arms are gonna be locked out, your legs are gonna be together. You're gonna push your shoulders down on the tire or whatever you're sitting on, knees into your chest, and you're gonna lift your butt off your seat. From here, you hold. You also have to actively balance it out because it's easy to lose control and fall forward. or you can fall backward as well. The way I would do this would be, I would give myself 5 to 7 minutes, and I would just accumulate as much time as possible. I would hold anywhere from 10 to 20 seconds with 30 to 40 second rest in between. Again, great exercise to do after class or at home. I highly recommend it.